Hello and welcome to #FridaySews. I'm Lisa Ann Spencer. Thank you once again for stopping by my sewing closet to see what I have done last week, what I plan to do next week, and a little bit about life. So if you're interested, come back and we'll talk about the swimsuit and some new makes that I have coming up. Okay, first of all, I did complete my swimsuit, and you saw the top last week completed, but I had told you about having the short sleeves, plus I had cut the sleeve with my serger, so I did put in the new sleeves, and I'm very pleased with those. And then the bottom is complete. I joined the leggings and the faux wrap skirt with one waistband. That worked. It was so easy, had no trouble. I believe I used the band from the leggings, but I could have used the band from the skirt. Either one would have worked out fine. So there it is. I did go purchase a buckle from Joann's, and so it has this decorative to make it look like a wrap. And I love it. Fits perfectly, and I will insert a video here. So while at Joann's last week, I took my 15-year-old daughter, and she's as into this as I am. The other girls, like my youngest, she goes, she looks, but she's not really interested. But my 15-year-old, I think she would buy the store out if I would let her. So she chose a couple of McCall's patterns, and they were $1.99 when we went to Joann's last Friday. And she chose McCall's 8248 skirt, and she wants the long one. And she chose this fabric, which is very similar to the fabric that my 13-year-old chose for her dress that I showed you last week. Now, let me see, I wrote the name down for this one. It's called Brown Leaves on Teal, 100% cotton woven. It doesn't look teal at all on the camera, or to my eye. It is more of a gray. So it has these, the brown leaves, but they're more of a pinkish color. So anyway, I'm looking forward to making this skirt for her, and she chose a top to go with it, which is McCall's 7356. And she likes this style with the little, it flounces, not with the ruffle. And you see it has a sash that ties in the back. I'll show you the line drawings there. So, but she does want sleeves on it, and she said she would rather have a flutter sleeve, so I may just make these longer or see if I have another pattern that has flutter sleeves and just use those. But she chose this pinkish thermal waffle, and it matches this perfectly. So I think that's going to be beautiful. I look forward to working on this one for her next week, I hope. Let me see, that's called Premium Waffle Thermal. It is a 64 poly, 33 rayon, 3% spandex. It feels really nice. So that's one of the things I'll be doing. Had to pick up a couple of zippers. There's an invisible zipper in the shirt, and then a regular zipper for the skirt. Okay, so the next thing that I bought is a pattern for my, what I'm calling my Outlandish Tartan that I mentioned last week, inspired by Molly Gibson in Wives and Daughters. That's a novel that was written by Elizabeth Gaskell, and it's been made into a movie, maybe by BBC. I'm not sure. I own it. My children bought the Elizabeth Gaskell collection for me last Christmas. It's Cranford, North and South, and Wives and Daughters. It's lovely. I love it. But I chose McCall's 8092. And the view that you see here, except I will not be wearing mine off the shoulder. I will wear mine on the shoulder. So this is a short version with a little ruffle, a short version without a ruffle with 3/4 sleeves, and then the full length dress with like a bell sleeve, and it has a sash. So I'll show you the line drawing there. Not sure, can you see that at the bottom down there? There is a sash that wraps around the waist, which I really like. So for this, I chose, don't laugh at me for choosing flannel. Cozy, comfy flannel in it's called a blue plaid bias. I love it. I just absolutely love it. It's so soft and comfortable, and it's going to be really warm, especially when we're living in the Midwest where it snows very soon. So I love it. And the sash is going to be a contrasting color. This is called, also in flannel, Arabian Spice. Let me lay this down. So I'll show you this close up first. It's a beautiful, what I would call a russet color. But when you see them side by side, you see that it really draws out that darker plaid stripe. So I have already started on the dress, and it's been a really easy sew. It's really big, and my measurements are size large, but now I'm wishing I had made it a little smaller. But here's what I have so far. It needs to be hemmed. So with the sleeves, I couldn't make up my mind. I did a sort of a bell sleeve, which I'm going to continue to work on this. I'm going to have to turn this under and stitch it so that it'll actually bellow like it should. But I wasn't sure I liked this, so I made a flounce on the other sleeve, and I hated it. So I'm going to be pulling this out and making it actually into the bell sleeve. And if I don't like that, I'm going to actually cut some of my extra material and just make a cuff sleeve with the bell. So I still have quite a bit of work to do on this, and I have the sash I have not even started on yet. So next week, if you come back and see me, I will hopefully have that complete and model that for you. My Outlandish Tartan, Molly Gibson inspired. Okay, so that's really all I've done. We have an offer on our house that we've not accepted yet, but we probably will. We've had lots of showings. We're having to leave the house several times a day, which is a little frustrating, but we've been through this before. We knew it would be this way, and we're grateful because we do want to sell our house. We went to Kentucky last weekend. We have a rental house. That was very challenging. We need a 4-bedroom because we have 7 people who, live in the house, and we have a giant dog and 2 cats and a bunny rabbit and even some chickens. So when we got to Louisville and began to look, close up and in person at houses, there were a small few 4-bedroom with a minimum of 2,000 square feet just to be able to hold, a little bit of our stuff. And none allowed pets, none. There was just you couldn't even pay a fee, and no pets. So fortunately, we were able to find this one house, and it's in a very quiet, older neighborhood. There are very few rentals there. It's mostly people who own their homes, so it'll be a really pleasant neighborhood. The house is just 2,000 square feet, but we're going to be comfortable there, and it's on an acre, 1.3 acres, so we can actually have a little garden and have a portable chicken coop, and so I'm very thankful for that because I love to garden and I like to have my animals, and so we'll make it a home for the next year and a half, and then in the future we'll look to buy a farm with a barn so that we can have a couple of horses. My daughter is really into horsemanship, and she's been taking lessons for a long time, and she's looking forward to owning her own horse. So, we dream, and things might not go that way, and that's okay. God's grace is sufficient. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. God's grace is sufficient. We are so blessed. We have all these wonderful things, a lovely house. My husband makes a good income. I'm able to stay at home. I've been able to homeschool the children. I can go buy fabric. And we know that all that could change in a moment. Life is so unpredictable. But for right now, I'm just very grateful, and I just wanted to say so. So next week, we are actually leaving. I film on Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. Friday, we're renting a moving truck, a small one, just to load up a few beds, my sewing machine, my daughter's sewing machine. We're going to take our Christmas decorations with us because that's not too far in the future. Lots of stuff. And we'll be going to Kentucky. So maybe by next Friday Sews, I will be videoing from my new sewing area. We have an upstairs loft in this new house, which is going to be the little girl's bedroom, but I told them it would have to also be a craft room. We will put all of our sewing machines up there. So that's where I will be coming to you from in the future. So I hope that you'll come back and see me, and I'm going to finish this dress up, going to start on Janie Bell's dress here. And there is an indie pattern dress that I have been lusting after for a long time, and I may move forward to that one next. So if you want to see what's happening around my sewing world and hashtag Friday Sews, be sure to come back and visit me. Also, shout out to Jen at Today in Jen's Sewing Room for hosting this wonderful hashtag Friday Sews that allows all the sewing community to come together, talk about life, show what we've been working on, and share tips and things or pattern reviews or changes that we made, and those things are very helpful to everyone. All right, so that's enough for today. See you next week.